Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and in this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm finally going to share with you my birria recipe. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been teasing you over the past couple of weeks with this recipe. We love it. I'm very excited to share it with you. Obviously, it's not authentic, but it is absolutely delicious. And birria, for those of you that don't know, is a classic Mexican dish typically served at a celebration, weddings, things like that. And I figured New Year's right around the corner. If you're having a very small, intimate gathering like we are with our just very four best friends at home, this would be a great recipe to serve. It's just delicious and you're gonna love it. I've actually made it for small celebration dinners throughout the season over the past couple of months because it's really quite wonderful. So let me share with you how I make it. We're going to serve it two ways. We're going to serve it Comsome style, which is sort of like a soupy style, and then we're going to make some queso tacos with it, which is just insane. So the meat you're going to be working with will vary a little bit. I'm using chuck roast, and these are backbones. These are beef backbones. I like to use something like oxtails for this, bone with marrow in it for this. The interesting thing for me is that a very, very good butcher is a good 20 minutes away, and if I don't order things ahead of time, especially at this time of year, I'm really kind of left with whatever's left over. So the two things that I know I can always find are beef backbones and some chuck, and it works out really beautifully. You're gonna get a lot of flavor from the bones, and the chuck will cook down and be absolutely mouth-watering delicious. Like I said, you could use oxtail for this. You could also do, typically you could also find this with goat or with lamb. It's completely up to you, but this is sort of like a pretty safe way to go. I like to take my meat and just sear it a little bit in a big heavy-duty Dutch oven. It does not have to be perfect. I just want to develop a little bit of color because color is flavor. So now that the meat's going, let's talk about sort of the flavoring that this sauce is going to come from, this broth is going to come from. So you're going to need dry chiles. I've got ancho chile over here, and I've got some guajillo chiles. Both of these are quite mild. I love this combo. I think it gives you a really beautiful, slightly smoky flavor. But again, it's quite mild, and we are going to make a spicy salsa to serve with this, so this is perfect for me. But if you wanted to use, if you wanted to add some pastilla chiles, whatever your heart desires, by all means do that. But these for me are perfect. You're going to want to depot them and get rid of the seeds and rinse them because they're kind of powdery and they can have a little bit of a gritty residue. So just depot them, and it's really simple. I'll show you. You basically just tear into one, right? See that? You want to get rid of all the seeds and then just get rid of that. Get rid of all the seeds in there, and then any of the veininess. I will rinse them really, really well, and then I will show you the next step. All right, my meat is nicely seared. I just flipped it once the first side developed a good amount of color. You don't have to get crazy, but it's important. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water. I like how I do this in a big pot. You need about 16 cups or so of water total. For me, it's right under that line. That's perfect. So this is going to come to a simmer, and I want this to cook gently for about 30 minutes before I add my sauce. And the reason I do that is because it gives me an opportunity to skim off all of the impurities that come off of the beef, which is really like a protein, but all of that foamy, all those impurities, I want to get rid of those. So once this comes to a simmer for a good half an hour, I'm just going to come in here with a slotted spoon or a little spoon and just sort of skim it off as it cooks. While that happens, in that same 30-40 minute time, we're going to work on, everything else is going to steep. So I've got a little pot here with some water. To it, I'm going to add my washed chiles over here. Remember, I took the seeds off as many as I possibly could out of both, and I rinsed them and washed them really well. To this, we're also going to add an onion that I've peeled and halved, along with a whole lot of garlic. Is that an amount? It's an amount for me. A whole lot of garlic and 3 Roma tomatoes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up to a boil. Once it's up to a boil, I'm going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to let it sit for about 20 minutes. So all in all, we're looking at the two kind of happening at the same time. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to skim off the impurities from this. This will boil, then sit, and then I'll bring you back here to put everything else together. All right, while those two things are working, I'm going to work on this really quickly before I forget. I'm going to take a couple of bay leaves. It's fine if you break them. I'm using a cheesecloth. You can actually use a coffee filter if you want to, anything that can stand being in boiling liquid for a while. Cheesecloth, cinnamon stick, and some peppercorns. And all I'm going to do is wrap these up and just tie them up with a little string. This is just some kitchen twine, and this allows me to be able to fish this right out once everything is cooked, and then I don't have to worry about later fishing out little peppercorns and bay leaves and whatnot. So you're gonna get all the flavor with none of the frustration of trying to find every last piece of cinnamon and whatnot. So we have this done. So now I'm just going to set this aside. I'm going to clean up, probably get myself a fresh cup of coffee, and wait for this to come to a boil, wait for that to simmer and then steep, and then we get closer to getting this thing going. All right, so my meat has been simmering here for about a half an hour. I did skim off some of the impurities from the top. I have them in this bowl right here. It's kind of gross looking, but you know, all part of the deal. So don't forget that I also had the chile mixture. I brought it up to a simmer, simmered it for 10 minutes, then turn it off and let it sit and steep for about another 20 minutes. So this is what it looks like over here. So now I'm gonna take this mixture and I'm gonna add it to a powerful blender, because you're gonna blend all these up. I like to strain out as much of the liquid as possible. And I actually don't like using the liquid that these steeped in, because I find that it has a little bit of a bitter afterflavor, like an aftertaste from the dried chiles. So I don't use that. But what I do use is some of the broth, some of the cooking liquid from the beef. So we took everything out of there. Some of the cooking liquid from the beef, right? So I'm going to add some in because I really need to get this going. So maybe like a cupful in total, because I do want this to be quite nice and smooth so that it makes it easier for me to process. So I'm going to go ahead, pop this on. I have a strainer next to me over a bowl because I am going to have to strain this out when it's done, and let it get nice and smooth. That should be good. Ooh, it is steamy. Make sure, like I said, you strain this so that you get rid of any grittiness or anything that didn't quite blend perfectly. And I am gonna quote unquote rinse that out in a minute. You'll see. Add that straight in, and then because there's so much goodness in this blender, I just take a little bit more liquid, about, I don't know, yay much, because listen, I'm not wasting an ounce of flavor, okay? Not an ounce. Put the lid back on. Give it a shaky shake. You didn't see that. Not my proudest moment, but see? Took all that off. And now, donde está la mapin? Get that off my hands. Like how I mix Spanish and Italian together. I just do one of these because it's gonna have to work through. Grab everything. See that thick paste right there? It's a little bit too coarse, so I'm not gonna add that in. And then you're just gonna take this mixture, add it right in. Oh yes, this is just gonna be so fantastic as it cooks. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the little bundle that we made. Remember, with the bay leaves? This is chicken bouillon powder. That's going to be your main source of seasoning, and some vinegar. I'm using apple cider vinegar today, but I've also done this with just plain distilled white vinegar, and it worked out great. So no problems there. All I'm going to do is just let this simmer and cook for a couple of hours. I want the meat to be super tender, and I'm just going to go ahead and sort of partially cover this and just let it simmer low and slow. All right, so my birria was cooking for about 3 hours, simmering low and slow. So I'm gonna walk you through what I did up until this point. The first thing I did is I made my salsa, which is my salsa is right over here. I know there are many, many ways to make salsa. This is just one of my favorite ways. It's nice and spicy. All I did was I took a few Roma tomatoes, a few cloves of garlic, an onion that I just halved, and a few serrano chilies, and I placed them in a cast iron just to scorch them on all sides. Then I placed them in a food processor along with some chicken bouillon powder as my seasoning, but you can also use salt, and a handful of cilantro, and I just went ahead and pulsed it until it was salsa. I placed it in the fridge to cool for a bit because I want to make sure it develops lots of great flavor, and that is ready to go. Then what I did to my birria is I took the meat out of the pot, I let it cool for a bit, and then I went ahead and skimmed off all the fat on the surface of the broth because I want that fat to cook my queso tacos. So I have the fat in one bowl, the broth in my pot, and then I just took my meat, I got rid of any fat and all the bones, and I'm just taking my cleaver and just chopping it in small pieces. And now I'm going to show you how to serve up one of them, okay? This is just your standard birria consomme, which is just kind of like a brothy, delicious, phenomenal. Look at this color of this broth. It's just deep, it's gorgeous. It's hard to say, I don't want to say it's thick, right? But it's not thin. It's got really good texture to it. I like a little bit of cilantro and raw onion on top. You need just a squeeze of lime and a spoonful of this fiery, delicious, nice thick salsa right in the center. That's really spicy, by the way, so proceed with caution. And that with some rolled toasted tortillas is incredible. Now let's move on to the queso tacos. The queso tacos are, it's sort of like a quesadilla, but in a taco shape, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all of my meat that I chopped up really nice and fine and place it in a bowl because I wanna add some of the broth to keep it nice and moist. Add some of that broth, just like I said, to keep it nice and saucy. Just like that. Not too much because I don't want the tortillas to get soggy. I'm only going to do one at a time here, or a couple at a time, because this is something that is really best made for a small gathering because you're going to have to stand over here to make these as you need them. I also mentioned earlier that this would be great for New Year's, which it would be, but maybe for New Year's of 2021, because I didn't realize that this is going to be posted after New Year's. It's the week where I don't know what day it is, what hour it is, the week between Christmas and New Year's. Listen, it could be June right now and I wouldn't know. I'm still trying to process last April for all I know. So bear with me. I'm using corn tortillas, but you could use any you like. I really like corn for this. I also make some with flour tortillas for friends of ours. You know, whatever floats your boat. So the fat that we reserved earlier, okay, you remember it. It's congealed a little bit because it's cooled down. You're gonna need some of this fat, okay? This is going to sizzle. It's gonna make a whole lot of noise. I also have some shredded Monterey Jack cheese. I like to do one of these because you want it coated in that fat, okay? I'm sorry, but you do. You do a couple like that, okay? Then you take a little bit of your meat, like that. I'm using Monterey Jack. You can really use any cheese that you like. Anything that melts well is really what you want to use. I like Monterey Jack, but hey, if you want to use some quesadilla cheese, whatever your heart desires, my friend. And you're going to just cook this, okay, until the tacos just get kind of really nice and crispy and the cheese melts, and I start flipping it. You're gonna flip this over a few times, okay? And be careful not to break the tortillas like I do. Like I said, it will splatter, so you might wanna get a splatter guard, which I don't even know what mine is. It will splatter, so I'm gonna get a splatter guard and then just keep an eye on this and then just keep flipping it until it gets crispy on both sides. These look kind of incredible, okay? I know you didn't ask me, but if you ask me, I'll tell you, they look pretty incredible. I'm gonna stop here just for now, because I feel like this has been a long day. I've been waiting for my reward. And although I love a nice bowl of consomme, you have not lived until you've had a quesataco with your birria, made from your birria is what I'm trying to say. So you take a little bit of your consomme, you top it same as you did, minus the meat, because the meat is in your taco, okay? Teeny bit of lime, like so. I don't have a spoon, but you know what? That's never stopped me before from being creative, so I'm gonna use my tongs for my salsa, okay? This will most likely destroy me because it's so hot, but I mean, if you can resist what's happening right here, you and I were just not meant to be friends. If you can resist this, maybe we weren't meant to be friends. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't resist it. You dip it in here like so, like that. Like my favorite person in the world right now, Tabitha Brown, like so, like that. She is queen. You dip it in there, you consomme it, your salsa, and then you say a little prayer for the roof of your mouth that's about to get destroyed. If this is not what heaven is, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. Hot though, really hot. Listen. You need to go to laureandthekitchen.com to get this recipe so you can make it. I need to go so that I can make more tacos so that I can sit down and enjoy the fruits of my labor. Beyond. The salsa's hot, but then again, so are you. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me. I'll see you next time.